Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Tool Show with me, Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And today we're gonna have one of our little coffee time segments here, and it's a beautiful day. Figured why not? We're already out here, so. That one's a good one. I don't even know what it is. I think it's some kind of, I don't want to say any name brand coffees, but it's, I don't know. That's it. If you were to fold it in half, that's maybe what kind of brand it might be. But it doesn't matter. I'm just kind of filming one of my segments for today, and I figured, why not? It's gorgeous out. It's beautiful. Let's have a talk with some of the amazing people that are out there. Now, in the trades, one of the things that I love is electricity. It's one of the most dangerous forces on Earth. It's something that most people have no understanding of. Even as a master electrician, I still find myself learning something new all the time in the trades, and you're always figuring out something new. There's a lot of different kinds of things that you can learn out there. And one of the things, electricity flows. It's like water. There's a current. It kind of makes it flow down the river, basically, just like this. So with current, that's called amps or amperage. That kind of pushes that current, that flow along, and it's just the same thing as a current in a river. Now, Edison, he was one of the guys that kind of created that. I don't know. He basically was one of the people that perfected electricity. I wouldn't want to say he created it, because I'm one of the oldest wars in the history of our trade is the Edison Tesla, and Tesla had a lot better ideas and he created them himself. Edison used a lot of other people's ideas that he paid a lot of money for, and because he had the funding, he was able to expand on their ideas, and it took him 1,000 tries to get the light bulb. And that's true. A lot of people use that as well, it took 1,000 tries before the light bulb was created, and that's one thing. But the problem is somebody else created that light bulb's idea, and he bought the idea and kind of changed it from him there. But that's the thing, it took 1,000 tries, so it takes you a long time too to get stuff sometimes. And just like me, I'm working to get somewhere a little bit better, and hopefully someday I'll be somewhere that's gonna change my life. And that's why I'm talking to you guys. I'm learning as I go here. But Edison, he did a lot of studying on voltages and different currents and flows and all how electricity worked. He even created his own Edison 3-wire. There's Tesla's AC. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. But one of the things I like the most about Edison is, like, there's only a few things that I really enjoy about the guy, but one of the things that I like about him is that he created something called Eddy Current. I think he even probably took it from one of his scientists that founded it or discovered this. But now Eddy Current it's easy to show with a river here, basically. Now, you see kind of right behind me there's that little inlet where it cuts in. The river's flowing in the back there, and then it cuts in through this little inlet here. There's a small inlet where it cuts in, and you can see there's a weird irregular swirl in there, and that's what an Eddy current is called. When electricity kind of leaks off from a pure circuit and kind of leaks off into something like a grounded area. It's kind of a long story. I'm not going to explain the history of electrical or the physics behind this, but when electricity is being pushed, sometimes it trails off and creates its own little path, and that's called an Eddy current, and it kind of finds a better little location. And I love little eddy ponds, or eddy pools they call them, and it's the same thing with the rivers. They called it an eddy current because that's what it is. It flows off. It's an Eddy current basically, and it kind of flows off like that into its own little pond, and it creates a nice relaxing area. And sometimes in life you got to take those, you got to branch off from that path, because there's a lot of other people that are going to be going with the flow that just kind of go the same way. And this is outside of the trades now. In your real life, you got to go against the water sometimes too, and you got to find your own little path where you can float off and find a little spot that's nice and relaxing over there, and take that Eddy current through it. Take the eddy out and relax in that little wave pool there for a while everybody else keeps floating down that river, because you never know, it could be nicer down the river, but you could find a good spot that's perfect for you, and you just flow off from that. And because a lot of people keep saying, well, it's tough because what if I isolate myself from those people in my life? And that's it. You don't have to isolate yourself from the good people, but sometimes you're a product of your environment, and you need to get a better environment, because there are other people that can help you get farther in life, and they can add to the people that are already there. It's basically like a supplement for the people that you already have around you. And that's important, because you always want to supplement your vitamins and all the other kind of stuff, and it doesn't hurt to supplement stuff once in a while, and supplements are pretty cool. I know I take a personal multivitamin every once in a while, because I don't eat very well a lot of the time, because I'm a tradesman. We work long hours, and it's tough to get a good meal in sometimes, so you got to take some vitamins and stuff to make things better. And that's what it is. You're a product of the environment. You can't hang out with negative people all the time and expect to get positive results. It's what it is. You're fighting yourself. But you got to be able to get off the current sometimes, find yourself a little path and find a little rotation that's different from everything else, because you're never going to know if you like something unless you try it out, unless you get somewhere else and find something new, because that's it. The world's all about change, and that's one thing in the world. It's never going to stop rotating, and if it does, that's going to be one heck of a show, and I can't wait, because I'll be front row watching that one, and hopefully we all just do one of those fly-offs and it's a relaxing end for everybody and not something crazy. But could you imagine? That'd be pretty wild. But hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. But I'm getting kind of way off topic here from our coffee time segment about Edison currents and how sometimes you got to flow a little bit different from the rest of the current. You never want to go against the stream sometimes, because that's tough. You're always fighting against a lot more if you're going against the stream. But if you're lightly following it and you take that little path off there and you relax for a while, you're going to live a whole much better life, I guess. And that coffee is getting a little bit cool now. So I figure that's where I'll end this segment, is talking about the eddy currents. When you're taking an eddy current, you want to make sure you get a nice relaxing path, something that's going to go for you, and find yourself some kind of stress relief, because that's what it is. The pressure is always going to be building up from that river, and sometimes it's too much. You don't want to sit there in the river and just flow forever and run into something that you're not going to like. You want to get off sometimes, find a nice little current that takes you somewhere else, relax for a bit, get your head back together. It's just like life. You got to make sure you're getting your head back together. Your head has to be in the game. If it's not, relax for a little bit somewhere else. Find a nice little eddy current and enjoy life. So, for Tool Show, I'm Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. Get out there, find yourself a nice current, and go with the flow.